spent a lot of time discussing evolution and can defend the scientific evidence against pretty much anybody in the world who wishes to attack it. There is a different kind of attack, however, that doesn't necessarily deal with the evidence and can be particularly elusive to people who've never debated evolution before. And that topic is resorting to the evolution is a faith argument. And while you may think that you have a quick and ready answer to it, in reality the people who play this card are oftentimes able to wrap you up in enough semantics that you forget your original position. For anyone that's ever been involved in this sort of thing, it's a bit like being sucked down the rabbit hole. And you try and you follow their twisted logic until you forget anything resembling your original point. The interesting thing about it is that in order to declare victory, the standards are also different. Now imagine that it's a complicated math proof. The one who argues in favor of science has to intricately prove the theory correct via complex equations on a chalkboard in order to declare victory. However, in this debate, the other side merely has to fling enough feces on the chalkboard in order to cover up the writing in order to win. Now, that's the tactic being used here, and it's a tricky one to navigate. I had a patient today try it on me, and I'd like to give you a few examples of the type of statements that they made and how somebody can rebut them. She started off by saying that evolution requires faith. You have yours, why can't I have mine? And my response to that was basically that something that's testable, makes predictions, and is falsifiable requires no faith. Also, please note that faith is belief without proof. Denial of evolution is belief in despite overwhelming contradictory evidence. That's not faith, that's stupidity. For example, believing that I will wear blue socks tomorrow on your part is faith. But believing that the earth is flat and stating that your belief is faith isn't so. Your belief's actually based on stupidity. I then asked the woman if she believes that it requires faith to believe that we're all made out of atoms and cells. She said yeah, because you can never know for sure, and you can never be 100% sure about anything. Well, I told her that she's correct about that, but there's a fundamental difference. Her definition of faith had been artificially enlarged so much to make it include evolution that she had to include virtually everything. And if everything requires faith, then why do we even bother having school? Nothing is fact and everything's just a hunch. So in reality, there has to be some sort of cutoff. And that cutoff is based on evidence. The amount of evidence supporting evolution lumps it into the same category as the shape of the Earth, germs causing disease, and tectonic plates moving. See, so there's no longer room for reasonable doubt in any of these fields. Why? Because the evidence has allowed these theories to cross a threshold. They are not the same. She then went on to say that scientists have been wrong in the past, and that what we call fact now may be laughed at in 50 years. Well, I told her that she's making a false comparison between the amount of evidence used to form different opinions. You see, when science believed that bloodletting cured all diseases, or that the Earth was flat, it was based on limited evidence and a limited understanding of the universe. That understanding can't be compared to the amount of evidence used to declare evolution as fact. The ideas may seem parallel, but in reality they're not, and the difference is in the amount of evidence. And while science has been proven wrong in the past, it has never been proven wrong about something supported with the same amount of evidence and to the same degree of certainty as evolution is. She then proceeded to go down the "were you there? If not, it requires faith." And my response to that is basically that you don't have to witness something with your own eyes in order to have enough evidence to declare it as fact. Have you ever seen a dinosaur? How do you know they existed? Well, I asked her about dinosaurs, and she said that she wasn't sure about them, and I decided on that note to kind of end the conversation. Well, I hope that the details of this conversation have helped some of you guys. It might seem very clean and cut and clear and dry on paper, but the fact of the matter is that when you're sucked into an argument like this, it's actually very easy to get lost. I hope that this gives you some ammunition and some things to think about and some ways that you can frame the conversation so that you don't get sucked down that hole. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. My next video should be on the evolution of altruism. Enjoy!